I'll hit record since that cereal
Oh,
will
I
be in
thought you
your
were
gullet
recording the whole
now.
time.
Nah, Luke was
Uh,
eating.
you want to
Some kind of
record just Luke is eating content for the
it,
patrons?
that drives some people nuts. That's like a pet
Sometimes I
peeve.
do it during the pod, and I bet there are people who hate that.
So
But
I was
fuck
waiting
them.
a few minutes. Um,
There's like the last podcast and the left people have like a side podcast they started doing where they just eat pudding and review it just specifically to like piss people off, and it's like
Hell yeah.
no, I was
it's
listening to one podcast
the
and it
best
was
news.
the Spread Master where the producer was making spreads between what their topics, and then there was the no bite version where they had edited all the eating out.
So the food's just disappearing slowly.
Right, right. So there's one where you can hear
Man,
them eating, and there's one where they've edited it out.
jeez.
Um, okay. We're yeah, number 58. This is actually like a May episode. I was just like, let's do one, and this was the next non-guest
Yeah, because
one.
we got a
So,
bunch of guest ones, right?
because who the fuck wants to come on for American Beauty?
I I bet you could have found somebody, but I mean,
Yeah.
I yeah.
In at number 58, life's like so beautiful, man. Like, look at how it moves. It's like,
Life is
wow,
like a
man.
box of chocolates.
Different
Screenwriter.
film, and that is coming up.
It
So,
is coming up. I blew it. Crap. No, no. Today we're
I
going for another film that has aged poorly. It is American Beauty.
I hate Forrest Gump more, but I just do want to point out that screenwriter of this film, Alan Ball, was sitting at the World Trade Center Plaza when he saw a paper bag floating in the wind and was inspired by it to write the film, which
Eh.
it sounds like that sounds about right, eh?
Yeah, it's Films and Filth. It's a Citizen K podcasting. This is Matt here. Who's that?
It's Mark, that's who it is.
it's your boy Luke. What it is, what it is. Shout out to my players.
There we go. This is one I think, this is the biggest one that, is this the worst aged film we've watched?
I mean, in terms of
Uh,
the actual film, then again, I also do this era of 90s. I'll get into it. Like films that are like, hey man, you should have a more meaningful life than this like capitalist consumerism, while not actually tackling any of the root issues that led to that. That they feel it feels so fucking empty to watch these films in 2025.
Like Fight Club
yeah,
still
Like,
holds a little water, I think. I
he
yeah,
saw that
because
not
at
too
least
long
Fight
ago.
Club they go and plant bombs, right?
Yeah.
yeah, and which has aged better
But
than
yeah,
I
which
don't
is the
know.
correct response to the world you're all living in.
I I mean I
I don't
when
want to come
Kevin
out as pro 9/11, but I'm leaning that way more and more every day.
Kevin Spacey in this movie, he plays a man who hides from his problems until he builds up the courage to ignore his problems.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds about right. So I gotta do history on this movie. It had a lot of buzz. I saw it when it came out, like opening night. We were like, "Man, that movie's amazing! It's so deep. It should win all the." Actually, I want Fight Club to win all the Oscars, but American Beauty won all the Oscars. Like, yeah, and it's definitely the most watching. I haven't seen it for like more than 20 years, so watching it last night, it was like, well, I kept messaging Mark to take breaks.
I I saw it on video, maybe like DVD, pretty soon after it came out. I wasn't super excited, although it looked promising. I did not remember any of the plot. I remember a bunch of the lines and a bunch of the times someone like yelled at someone or threw something. I did not remember how Kevin Spacey died in this
I saw
at
this
all.
movie several times back around the time it's released and on video, like you're saying. This is probably like the fifth time I've seen it, so I did remember the story and stuff. But I was curious. The one thing is, the music is it seemed cool in 1999, and I guess now it's the music that plays in every advertisement, so now it's annoying. Or
This
music
is
like that.
this is vibes of a kind of obnoxious HBO comedy. That's like the this guy went on to do 6 Feet Under, which I've actually never seen, but I would probably guess that 6 Feet Under would probably be like this. Um, Luke, this is your first
I
time?
saw no, not quite. I remember it coming out, and it being like, oh, this is absolutely not the sort of film I want to watch, right? It's
It's
like,
not a
oh,
movie for
there's a,
9-year-olds.
it's not a movie for it, right? And then I watched it 10 years after that, like probably with like my high school girlfriend or the girlfriend after that or something. And it was still not the kind of movie I wanted to watch because, but I was like, oh yeah, it's good. And then I rewatched it this time, like it's not the movie I want to watch, and it's also not good.
Yeah, I I'm always torn between like what is more frustrating, a movie that I don't like that that I know how to fix, or a
Hmm.
movie that I don't like that I don't know how to fix. But
Well,
this one,
there's
it
no
seems
fixing this. It's just it's a movie for
I
fucking tossers.
I think this would be good if they just
Completely
if it
changed
was just
everything.
no, I mean
Sorry,
all
go
they
on.
really have to do, I mean, I'm just saying all they really have to do is to make Kevin Spacey not the main character and like remove the shitty Nazi murderer guy. It's like there
I guess yeah.
I feel like there are bones of like an interesting ensemble drama here. It's just
Hmm.
like
So you think
I
like
do
making
not
it like a point of view character with a narration and he's fucking dead at the end and all that?
I,
You want an
yeah,
Aardman
I
film.
don't like that. That's exactly what I don't fucking like. It's basically any problem that I have with Groundhog Day is like 10 times worse here because it's like, oh, dude, you've achieved enlightenment, so you get to not only do you get to like feel up the 18-year-old and make out with her, but then when you find out she's a virgin, you get to be the hero by not fucking her. And then they kill everyone wants to kill you because you've achieved enlightenment. You don't get to live anymore, man, because you've reached nirvana. But it's like all they did was jog some and quit what was probably a better job than the fucking fast food job. That's another thing I'm sick of with this stuff. Where it's like, yeah, you can tell that I feel a lot like Luke does, except for I'm kind of angrier about that like Office Space, where it's like, nah, man, fuck the office. We're gonna go work in construction. Like you're gonna
Yeah, at least in
fucking
Office
die.
Space they smash some shit up, but yeah.
That's true, but it's like you're gonna fucking die on a construction site. You're gonna be fired from McCow or whatever the fuck the fast food place was called
Ooh,
because
So it's
McCall.
like Happy Time or something, or Smile.
yeah, you're not there. Someone else who works at the corporate offices of that chain will come to the restaurant and treat you like shit because
Yeah.
like you like stop romantic.
Or if,
Like I'm
like
sick
if they
of
could have just
people.
made it like he opens his own coffee shop and then it's fine. But
Yeah,
working at a corporation,
it was
at least
only
in
to
a
set in
cubicle you can
motion.
put headphones so he can catch the
Yeah, that was the only reason for that entire chunk of the plot was just like to set in motion where it's like, whoa, I better be really he'd look really cool if he caught you guys making out at the drive-through. Whoa, everyone. I mean, I don't think I like this writer like at all.
Eh,
I think I kind of hate him.
Hey, Luke,
well, yeah, I definitely got that.
have you been to Harajuku recently?
Not for a while, but like
I
within the
just
last couple of years, yeah.
okay. I just went for the first time last week or this year in a while, and I noticed
Yeah.
they have a bunch of just because the place he's working, they have all these weird like fake restaurant, not fake, they're real restaurants, but like rip off weird restaurants there now or something.
Huh. I
Like
don't remember that.
there's a fake Lateria. Like it's not Lateria, but it looks like Lateria, but it's something else. And there's like a
Hmm.
fake Minecraft cafe.
What?
It's really weird. I should have
I'll
There's
taken
have
a
to go check
food
it out. Yeah, you should take pictures.
I'll be back in a few weeks. I'll take some pictures.
Yeah, when I went, there's just like there's a bunch of places selling whatever the meme snack is, like those 10 yen coins with cheese in the middle.
Yeah, okay. Now it's these long sticks that are basically a really long French fry.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah, they had
Charlie's
those.
French.
Yeah,
Okay, that seems to be the thing now.
all
Okay,
right.
sorry. Just since you're bringing up fake restaurants, and I just seen that. Getting on back on topic. Also, Mark was getting rammy, so
let's get
I
off
cut him off
topic.
for a
Fine.
bit.
I yeah, that's probably for the best. There are some other rants I've got, but like they spent the entire first hour of the movie listing other movies that this
Mm.
basically is
And I called you
the
rammy, not
same.
ranty.
Oh, okay.
Like you're ramming, like you're getting rammy.
Patreon.com
If any of our
Uh,
listeners would like to get rammed by Mark, get in touch.
slash
no,
podcastio
they want to
podcasties.
get rommed by Silver Fox Peter Gallagher.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I kind of do. Um, it's funny because
Oh yeah,
when I
yeah,
got
Mark.
in
That
shape,
was my most insane note, by the way. And when I was a teenager, I did not actually watch much porn. I learned the sex move from this movie and have been using it to good effect since.
Oh, yeah, okay, cool.
So
Yes,
that's something I will
everyone
thank American Beauty for.
everyone has to learn the
It's
thing where you're
probably better to learn your sex moves from American Beauty than from porn.
that's true.
Is
I mean,
it?
yeah, even just getting their legs in the
Yeah,
air
he
like
didn't do
that.
the little boy stuff in the film.
There, Mark. There, how does that work in this movie? If he has a son and the son has a friend, make it more realistic.
And
I
about
don't
6 years
know.
younger.
I feel like you guys have lost me. I don't know. I don't know what's happening anymore.
That's for the best.
Okay.
Some
Yeah,
listeners got it.
but so it's funny that the pedophile in this movie is named Lester.
Lester the molester.
Even when I was like 20 and this came out, I was kind of like, this makes me uncomfortable. I do not think this guy should be like doing this. I don't think this guy should be like feeling like this. And yeah, I don't know. I don't.
See, that's the
I
thing.
cannot imagine. I
I
don't like it.
I fully sniffed this movie's cork in 1999, but revisiting is just even. I mean, I do wonder if not for the whole spacey thing, how would it play? You know, because now you just know what you're watching, right?
It's
Yeah,
still a
yeah, I think it would still have aged horribly.
Yeah, I think.
I think the spacey aspect is like because okay, yeah, Kevin Spacey, awful human being. He is a good actor. There's a reason we all liked him
yeah.
and stuff, right?
Right,
So
right.
let's not pretend that because he's bad, like, oh, he was bad in this.
No, I
That's the
fucking
thing,
loved
just like
Spacey
yeah,
back in the day. That's
that's
I
that's
the
part
mean,
of
hole
my
people
point,
fall
you know?
into, right? It's like
he pulled off the transforming from a schlub to a confident guy like incredibly well. The
yeah, that's his
problem
main
I
trick that he does in that.
yeah, the problem I have is like that it didn't. It was just such the
But
movie
yeah, it's a
itself made
writing problem. It's not his performance problem.
I mean, I
exactly. It's like
for
Usual Suspects. He did the same thing, didn't he? But he did it really quick, and it was great because it was just real quick, and then it's over, and then Also, he turned from a he made much farther jump in that movie, I guess, physically.
Yeah, true.
see, yeah, I think I
Me
mostly
and Matt are
stopped paying
both
it.
big K-Pax fans, so you know.
Oh yeah, what's your favorite Kevin Spacey movie? K-Pax. Although it is
This
a
might
joke
sound
because in reality, I kind of stopped paying attention to him around K-Pax Pay It Forward. I guess a lot of people did, but
I
yeah,
like
because
Superman Returns.
yeah. Superman Returns
yeah,
is pretty good.
I like him in
Um,
I
Baby
never
Driver where he
rewatched
gets
that.
rammed by a car and just goes like into the ceiling.
I haven't watched Seven in a long time, but I think Seven's
I
probably
watched
still
Seven
going to be
about a
pretty
year
good.
ago. He's that one does hold up. I mean, it is too dark, and I mean, just in a like,
Yeah,
it
lighting
feels like you're
wise, I know
watching
you mean.
Edgelord the movie, you know. But it is good.
And then every film
Yeah.
that came out for like 10 years after that copied the
Yeah,
wrong
it's a
part.
Led Zeppelin problem where Led Zeppelin's okay, but all the bands that copied them suck.
I mean, that's Nirvana. I don't know. There's a
Yeah.
lot of there's a lot of those.
Let me do a story for American Beauty and just get that out of the way.
Mhm.
Lester Burnham is 42. He, his wife, and his high school age daughter are all unpleasant people living unpleasant lives. Burnham wants to fuck his daughter's friends and regularly fantasizes about it. Daughter Janie hooks up with Ricky, the weird dude next door who also sells Lester killer weed. Lester begins toking, working out, and makes a career shift from media exec to hamburger jockey. Wife Carolyn is busy banging Peter Gallagher in newly minted silver fox form. Ricky's father, ex-Marine Frank Fitz, mistakes Lester as gay, makes a pass at him that is rebuked, and then shoots Lester in the back of the head the next day. The end.
Was
Okay.
it the next day or was it like an hour later?
I think it was an hour later.
But if the clock ticked over to midnight, then it's the next day as well. So
You're right. It probably
Okay.
was the
Saved by
case.
technicality.
almost Christmas isn't Christmas, Mark.
It depends on if I fly to Japan really quickly, it's already Christmas. So yeah, I as far as the lens of Kevin Spacey, the things that interest me are reading through the trivia about the making of this, and there were a couple of times where, like when he throws the plate against the wall, it was not in the script. He just was supposed to throw it on the floor.
Hmm.
So like the reactions of everybody are real. And also when he had the remote control car, that was also basically him attacking Annette Bening was like unscripted and her reactions were real. So I'm always kind of curious at things like people who turn out to be sex pests just like harassing people innocent quote unquote innocently. And then like the Rick and Morty guy, I think had a lot of the same thing. Like everyone hated working with him because he'd come into the studio and just drive a remote control car around. Like I'm not kidding. He did the same thing.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But
That's
like
it. Remote
in the
control
office.
cars are for sex pests.
Okay, red flag there, especially if the remote control car has a red flag on it.
And
Do
We'll
I'm
they
have
sure
to
still
look
they
make
into
them with the
that.
little flag?
I mean they have to or
Well,
cops will
what happened
shoot
to the
them.
cars with the little flags, huh?
Let's
Yeah, what kind of woke cars without the communist flag on them?
So I was thinking of the other actors in the film in the movie. I did Mandela
Said
affected.
film so wrong he couldn't even say the
I
word when
said
he corrected
foom. It
himself.
was foom.
Yeah, but
The
then you didn't
Foom?
say film, you went movie. It's like you lost the ability to say film.
I thought you were talking about Toshio Mifune.
Sure, why not? We could do that. Where was I? Oh, other actors in here. I Mandela affected this movie a bit. Like I was sure that the kid was Joaquin Phoenix, but it's Wes Bentley.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
a
he looks
total
like
that
him.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's in Interstellar.
Well, hey, I'd like that's cool. I
Yeah,
like
yeah, I know,
Interstellar.
but it's
Mark didn't
like
like
He'll be on the
Interstellar.
list. We'll get into it.
Yeah. But yeah, and another performance for I don't even think he's bad. It's just watching it now, it seems so derpy. I guess because there's a lot more things about like neurodivergent people and stuff. So this is just a weird broad brush that doesn't work well.
hmm
Well, it's funny because I absolutely feel like the same way about Mike Judge, who made Office Space, which has a lot of similarities to this. I feel like Mike Judge's entire career is just like making fun of autistic people. Like so
Maybe.
much of Office Space is like a guy walks in, he's like, "Hey, well, look, well, okay, like that is straight up just right." And
Yeah.
anyway, that's a whole other can of worms. But some
Also,
people
yeah,
love that.
another 99 movie. There's something in the water, I guess. I get, millennial
Yeah,
water.
like
Yeah.
everyone could tell it wasn't supposed to be the way it was, but everyone was too chicken to admit that it needed to burn down.
I just started yeah,
The
the
dream in the 90s was
aforementioned list of
false.
stuff. Yeah. Everyone's a shithead. Requiem for a Dream, 2000. Fuck My Office Job, Office Space, and Fight Club. Stuff You Own Ends Up Owning You, Fight Club. Weird Teens Being Kinda Goth, Ghost World, and Pecker. Gay couple is the only likable functional human beings. The opposite of sex. Mediocre middle-aged man is pushed to his limit, falling down, 1993. But it goes on. Middle-aged guy gets his shit together, then dies. Bulworth, 1998. It's just so much of it.
I was happy whenever Bakula was on screen, by the way.
Yeah, me too. He was great. What? Why
I mean,
not?
he didn't really do much, but
He
I was
played a
like, yeah,
character that was
I like
one of
him.
the only two functional normal human beings that were
Yeah, plus
likable
I
in
just
this
like
movie.
Bakula, right? So
Yeah, that's basically it. Now on acting, like I said,
zero captain presence, by the way.
yeah, no Captain
I
Presence.
mean,
He's
yeah,
captain the jog. He captained the jog.
he was more of a captain
Casey
than
couldn't
that
keep
fucking
up.
Marine dipshit.
Yeah.
I'm
Um,
sorry that I found that character to be completely irredeemable, and like I think he got off too
yeah,
easily. He should have walked into a wood chipper at the end.
Yeah, I think you would give that character more comeuppance or lean into him being an asshole more if this
I
was made today.
in the acting sweepstakes, I would give Cooper a pass on this one. Chris Cooper.
like the good version of it is Robert Patrick from the Peacemaker show.
Yeah. But
He
again, like
might have
yeah.
he might have modeled that after the same. I mean, that's not a stretch. Um,
I think I'd give Annette Bening I think she did her thing here.
yeah,
Oh
she's
yeah, yeah.
great.
Like
He was the one knocking it out of the park, basically.
you don't necessarily like the character, but you're
No,
not meant to.
no, of course not. I'm just trying to rate like
Yeah. No, no,
just
I don't think I would say anyone's performance in this is bad. I don't
but
necessarily
No,
like the character. Like again, I think all the problems in this film are just the writing. I think the writer is a pretentious tosser.
yeah. I mean,
it is.
I can't
I
act,
think
but I
Dungeons and Dragons 2000 might be better if you consider that Thora Birch from this film's character was playing the queen in that movie,
that'd
or
be cool.
Empress, whatever that
Yeah.
was. Because
Yeah,
yeah,
what it definitely occurred to me. Oh, we've seen Thor recently, haven't we?
yeah, it's like she doesn't really have a whole lot more range in this than she did in that, but her character in this is completely perfect for not having a lot of range, where
Hmm.
that character was not.
Well, most
Yeah.
of her lines were like they had the cadence of a joke, they just weren't funny.
Yeah, man, she's
It's
like,
like this whole film, it's like imagine if you were directing a comedy, but your script didn't have jokes. That's how this film felt.
well, yeah. So all the family's interactions at the beginning was like just sarcasm. It's like
It's like
everything they ever said to each other was sarcastic. So then when they started to sort of be sincere with each other, I'm like, it made me wonder, like, have they just been nothing but sarcastic for like 15 years?
well, it's like how
Because
everyone describes a sitcom, like whether it's a family or a friendship group or whatever. It's like, oh, these people don't actually like each other. This is that same dynamic, but the lines aren't even funny.
yeah, it's like Roseanne with no jokes, kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah, or like the Friends where it makes Ross look like a psychopath if you take the laugh track out.
uh,
I want to start watching Friends that way.
I don't know if you do.
There's some good edits online though, where it's just you should look
I
those up.
I always hated that character, but I did find out recently that David Schwimmer like taught everyone collective negotiation because he learned it in like a Marxist theater troupe, which is
Yeah,
why they all got paid the same amount and why they all kept on the show the whole time. So I'm like, that's respectable. At least
everything I see about David Schwimmer seems like he's actually a pretty chill dude in real life, and that's probably why he was so good at playing such a like unpleasant, neurotic guy.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Speaking of comedy, if you listen
I
to
mean, wait, Luke, what? Here's a conspiracy theory. He taught he taught everyone collective negotiation, and the writers found out, so they took it out on him for the entire rest of the run of the show by making his character terrible.
Possibly.
I have to rewind and say this was because you said watching Friends without a laugh track. This
Mm.
is where, so if I just come out, you're like, what the fuck's he talking about? That was what sparked the thought. But if you listen to comedian Alonzo Hamburger Jones without looking at him, it sounds
Mm.
exactly like a drunken Denzel Washington doing like mid-range stand-up.
Mm.
Okay.
It said hamburger a lot. So that I
uh,
was walking down the street last week laughing my ass off at that.
Mina Savari was in 3 movies that came out in 1999: American Pie, American Virgin, and American Beauty.
All the American movies.
I
Man,
don't know.
that
I have it.
do you get like a card like a points card if you do that?
You get
A
20%
Hollywood
off at the
points card.
America store.
Yeah. Is the America store Walmart?
Um, no.
I mean, you don't
No,
want it
the
to be,
America
but
store
is
is the
it?
store I go to here in Japan to buy like Lucky Charms.
I
That
think
should be the Irish store.
The only true America store is the guy who was setting up like near my neighborhood to sell cowboy hats and like other Western wear just on the side
King.
of the road.
Did you
That's the
buy it
guy.
some? Did you buy some?
No,
No. You're
I don't
not
have Western
cowboying
wear
it?
money. What are you talking about? Western wear is expensive, man. Like
Yes, it
you
is.
want a good cowboy hat, you're talking like 250.
So line
I got
dancing
a
is
nice.
not in your
If
future.
you want to get good cowboy wear without spending a fortune, you know where you got to go, Mark.
Mexico?
Yeah,
Okay.
I got a nice sombrero.
I'm an idiot for not going to Mexico, man. It's like not that far away.
Yeah, just do it.
I'm just gonna do it.
Live like a king.
After this podcast, you
Yeah,
leave
just
this
fucking
podcast and go
move
to
to Mexico, Mark.
I Yeah, I don't know.
I would love if I influenced you to doing that.
That'd be amazing.
Next
If I'm gonna go somewhere, it's not here. Anyway,
You're already there, so you're
yeah.
covered.
The other
Anyway, Mark,
interesting.
start working now on faking that you're teaching English for 3 years. Then I can just offer you a job at our company.
Were they? How much would they hate it if they're like this 50-year-old is gonna come start out of school? I feel like they would just like cut my head off.
50 is acceptable. We have had people apply in their 60s, and we're just like, oh, let's find a way to politely let them down.
Oh man,
I feel bad
But I
because,
won't.
like she told me, like, if
Probably
you'd be
good.
struggling to find full-time work, right? And it's like,
Or I mean, they just want to do something different, and it's like they're probably very skilled,
hmm
but like, eh,
If we want someone we can rely on, is going to be with us as long as possible, you know.
Well, by the time I'm
Also,
60, then
Matt, cut this
culture
because
will
I might
everyone be
be
dead.
talking about illegal work practices that
By the time I'm 60, like everyone who's in charge of Japan might be dead because they're all
Oh,
90.
definitely, because yeah, Japan is run by the elderly.
Well, I'm kind of looking forward to like when I'm really old. It's going to be like a lot of elderly weebs in the home. We're all going to be like wearing bunny ears and shit, and
Yeah.
like they'll be like, "Oh, it's time for lunch." Like,
Let's go hop to the table.
like play like Gabber techno, and like a bunny rabbit comes on. It's like, "I want you to eat this pudding." I'm into it. That's what's going to happen. It's inevitable.
And all the orderlies are robots.
Yes, absolutely. Robots that will kill you if you try to escape. Uh, the
You're
other,
almost
the
dead
other,
anyway.
the other non sequitur trivia I have is that this and Silence of the Lambs are the only Best Picture winners in the 1990s to not be a period piece.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, but that
So
also that does reflect because right, the '90s thought it was the fucking end of history. They
mhm.
didn't think there were interesting stories in the world they were living in.
Yeah, that we had
That's the
Braveheart. There
whole
was some,
issue I was talking about.
I think Merchant Ivory stuff was. I don't know if it was winning Oscars, but it was pretty big at the time. That was always like longing older British couple longing for each other and Longingshire. I made that up. That's not really a town, unless it is.
That's where Luke's from.
Oh.
Longingshire?
It's like he like looks wistfully out the window with
No,
memories
because
of
I have no
Longingshire.
wistful memories of where I grew up. When we
Hey,
came back from the UK, all of Mercy's friends were like, "Did he propose to you in England?" And she was like, "No, he would never propose to me in England. He fucking hates England."
Ah,
okay. Hey, I just as a fun run, I'm gonna go through those '90s Best Picture winners, and we'll see if the contemporary one is a better movie. 1990 was Dances with Wolves. The contemporary could have been Ghost. I like Ghost, but that's not a Best Picture. But neither is Dances with Wolves. Goodfellas on the list. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Okay.
Goodfellas is better.
Goodfellas. That's
uh,
that's
1991 Silence of the Lambs, all of everything else is a period piece, except I don't know if The Prince of Tides is or not, because I've never seen it or anything.
I
Um,
don't think it is, but it seemed pretty annoying, so I never watched it.
92's Unforgiven. It could have been, I think the rest, Crying Game, no. A Few Good Men, I don't
Mm.
know. Scent of a Woman, those are the ones they put up that year. Okay,
Out of all those, I've only seen The Crying Game, and it was like not only kind of I don't know if it's probably problematic, right? It even
it's
seemed
aged
kind of
worse
fucked
than
up at
this
the
movie.
time. It seemed fucked up at the time, but it was also boring.
The
So
worst
anyway,
crime, yeah.
yeah,
93 Schindler's List. They could have given it to The Fugitive. Huh, that's an interesting that.
Mm,
But
I
Spielberg,
like The
Schindler's List.
Fugitive more, but Schindler's List is a
Yeah,
good
yeah,
film. Like
and
that's a
that,
worthy winner.
it was. Yeah, that was Spielberg being like, "What the fuck, people, give it to me," and they were like, "Yeah, we can't argue."
is that what appeared at the end of the film? It just faded in. What the fuck? People give it to me, and then it faded out when the credits rolled.
Give it to
Yeah.
me, please, Rachel.
94 Forrest Gump. That automatically means everything should have won it above that. Four
What
weddings
what
and a
Yeah,
what was up
funeral.
against Gump?
Four weddings and a funeral, which actually I've never seen. Pulp Fiction, yes. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Quiz Show, okay, not the best picture. Shawshank, our number one movie on
Oh
this
yeah,
list.
I would put Shawshank above Gump.
Yeah.
Shawshank for sure. No, I hate Forrest Gump more than almost anything we've watched.
I
I'd
know
rather
you hate
watch Human
Forrest
Centipede
Gump.
too.
I need to go back and watch it because at the moment I don't quite get your hatred.
We already talked. I can watch Forrest Gump. I'm not quite as searingly hatred as imbued as Mark, but 95 we talked about because that was Braveheart, and we got confused about Il Postino, which is not Kevin Costner, the postman. Um,
That's
96
right.
is the English Patient. Fargo's right underneath that. What the fuck? Okay, give it Fargo.
Yeah, Fargo for sure.
I mean, I
Shine,
understand.
no.
It's funny because this American Beauty kind of reminds me of a Coen Brothers movie, but it's like almost
Yeah,
all
but
of
without the jokes.
without being good. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
everything Coen Brothers did Coen Brothers did so much after this. That's the funny thing, is that Fargo was what, now pretty early in their career. Um,
97's a pretty solid year. Titanic wins, which okay, sure, I guess.
I do
sure.
like Titanic. I'm
I
not
do
arguing
like
with it.
Titanic, but then I would, for me, as good as it gets in LA Confidential, there, I like those better.
Oh, like
The Full
Confidential.
Monty's fun, I think, and we Goodwill. Here's Goodwill Hunting. I wouldn't give it to that. I mean, we didn't hate it, I don't
Eh,
think, but I wouldn't give it to it.
I like it better
Titanic's
than
better.
this.
98 is Shakespeare in Love with
Oh, that's
Elizabeth.
That
infamous.
one,
That
I always
one.
forget that. I know.
Yeah, that is like straight up Harvey Weinstein being a real Kevin Spacey about things.
Elizabeth, that's the same period for the period
Mm.
piece. Life is Beautiful, a movie we're going to have to watch and plays weirder now.
Hmm.
Saving Private Ryan, shit, and The Thin Red Line, a bunch of world. It's all Tudor or
Man,
World War II. That's weird.
Saving Private Ryan's on the list too, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes. The Thin
Yeah.
Red Line's a movie where I keep going back to watch it and thinking maybe I'll like it this time. I hate it every time. The most recent time being like 3 months
Hmm.
ago. So
Does that have John Malkovich in it?
it has everybody in it. Some
It
people
has
just show up in
everybody
the
in it for like
background.
that second.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
exactly.
the one where Brody was like he filmed it thinking he was the leading man, and then he's in it for 5 minutes. Yeah, he
I've
filmed
never
like a
seen that.
9 hour movie and then edited it down to a 2 hour movie that none of them knew they were making.
Okay, I can't stop
Hmm.
with this game now because we are now at 1999 where
Yeah,
American
go for
Beauty
it.
wins. So here are the ones that could have gone against it. Cider House Rules. I've never seen that. Mark?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
No,
I like
I'm just,
cider, but I don't know the film.
I wasn't even going to ask you if you've seen it. The Green Mile. That's because they didn't give it to him for Shawshank, I guess, and they didn't give him for the Green Mile either.
Interestingly, I've never seen The Green Mile, and it's just like I've never gotten around to watching it, kind of a
I
thing.
watched it in prison.
Hmm.
I went to prison for 24 hours for charity, and we watched The
That's
Green Mile in there.
Oh,
okay.
okay. Yeah, so now you get to brag that. That's how you got
Yeah, that's
paid.
very
It
good.
wasn't quite charity. You get the bragging story. The Insider, which I think I've seen once, but honestly don't remember much about.
Never even heard of that. I
That's
think.
I think that's where Russell Crowe looking not completely old. Al Pacino not looking that old. Wow, it's weird how time flies.
Hmm.
Okay, here's the one that let's toss. This is the one to toss against American Beauty. Does The Sixth Sense deserve to be tossed? Does it deserve
Ooh.
it? Not on our list, by the way.
I'm not dying to rewatch that, but I'm pretty sure I would enjoy watching it and get more out of it, even knowing what
It's
happens in
it's
it.
kind of you watch it, which you can't. You've been spoiled on probably if you're watching now. I did have the pleasure of watching without knowing the ending. So you watch it
Uh,
once, get
I was
spoiled,
spoiled
or
before I watched it.
okay, let's just go the way you were supposed to. You watch it once, you watch it the second time to feel smart, and then you really never have a reason to watch it again, do you?
Hmm. What?
I
Oh
mean,
yeah, but I've got so many reasons to watch American Beauty again.
Yeah, you're doing a podcast. Well, hey, I haven't watched American Beauty for 20 years.
I mean, the first M. Night Shyamalan movie I remember watching where it specifically Unbreakable didn't really have like a twist per se.
Yeah, it did.
Like,
Yeah, the twist was that he set it all up.
oh yeah, Mr. Glass.
Maybe you
Well,
just thought the twist
that
was
was good,
stupid.
sure. No, that twist was
It had a
a
memento
light.
twist.
I'll say it's a light touch.
Yeah, yeah,
The village,
yeah.
the
It
village,
wasn't
Flashy
like a
touch,
built around the twist film in the way that Sixth Sense is.
which
the
was smart.
village, which pissed me off, and everyone I went with to see the village in the theater, we were all like screaming at each other because we couldn't remember whose idea it was, and we were all mad.
I
Like
weirdly like the village.
we hated it. I
Yeah,
I
my
didn't
problem
watch
with The
any of this
Village,
shit
it
for
was like
years.
the twist was positioned so that you had to watch like an hour of a bad film before the good film could start.
See, I felt the opposite. I thought the good film was the first part of it, and then I hated the end of it.
I mean, I don't necessarily. Oh my, I'm an idiot.
I think I
What?
did stop watching Shyamalan films at that point, though. But
Did you guys see Trap last year?
no, I just told you I haven't seen any Shyamalan since The Village.
Oh,
I didn't know one
It-
came out last year.
it's great. I mean, it's too long. It's got flaws, but
Hmm.
it's like Josh Hartnett playing like this is in all the trailers, so I'm not spoiling anything. Is like he's going with his daughter to like a big pop star concert,
Let's
and
go to the
he's
big
like
pop star concert.
somebody at security is like, man, that's actually a sting. We're gonna catch the serial killer called the Butcher, and then you find out Josh Hartnett is the serial killer. So you watch him like try to just get out of this concert while his daughter, he keeps going back to check on his daughter, and it's just like so ridiculous. It's like just it's very enjoyable. I think Shyamalan has just come all the way around to just being kind of silly and fun.
So the soundtrack is Trap.
The soundtrack is his daughter. He nepo babied his daughter as the pop star of this entire film.
Does she do
And
Trap?
gives her a big role. She is not a good actor. She's a pretty good singer, but he probably shouldn't have given her a bunch of acting stuff at the end. But anyway, he's a good dad, I guess you could say. But I don't know. Watch Trap. It was fun. Ridiculous.
In 1999, I did think that the plastic bag scene was deep.
I that sounds like
I'm just
something
admitting that.
I might have felt. That is the kind of thing that makes me just enraged now.
Now it enrages me, but when in 1999 I thought it was deep. I'm just admitting that. I'm trying to be,
Yeah.
full disclosure here.
Yeah, growing
Yeah,
is
I'd
good.
seen it made fun of before I'd ever seen it. So I can't imagine the mindset of thinking that, but I mean, I'm just
Opening
built
night.
different, so
Yeah.
Have just as far as alternatives to this, have you guys either of you guys seen The Weatherman with Nicolas Cage
Nicolas
in it?
Cage. Well, I maybe. My
Oh.
answer is maybe.
It's better because it's sort of like this, but Nick Cage is like a complete fuck up and
Hmm.
just continuously is just kind of awkward and terrible, which somehow makes it much better. And he doesn't want to fuck a child.
Where's he on the crazy
So-
meter, 0 to 10?
He's 8. I
Okay.
mean, what is this, a Nick Cage crazy meter or just like a regular actor
The,
crazy
the
meter?
Nick the Nick Cage crazy meter.
6.5.
Okay, just checking.
It's good, but I mean, it's one of those things where he dials it back a little bit and it makes it better because
Yeah.
he doesn't need to go full Cage in everything because then full Cage wouldn't mean anything.
No, that's why I'm asking. I wasn't like, oh, you have to
Yeah,
tell me
that
10.
that's
I was
not.
like,
It's the tripometer. It's not a scale of quality.
yeah, exactly.
Right, right. Also, I don't know, Blue Velvet, because
Oh, hell
Blue
yeah.
Velvet is about
Yep,
the
yep, yep,
suburbs being full of horrible
You're right.
people doing
You're right.
horrible-
Blue Velvet is
Don't
what-
even say that movie's name on this podcast, Mark.
all
Not
these
on this
films.
episode.
All these films I've been complaining about. Blue Velvet is what they didn't have the balls to be, where
Yeah,
they
also-
actually admit that there's something wrong,
Yeah, and then
and you
when
can't just fucking live, laugh, love your way through it.
and when the guy gets killed at the end, it's not only is it earned, but it's really fucking insane.
Yeah.
And Luke, that
Um,
makes me say you gotta do your Twin Peaks again. The end of The Return is I hated it when I finished it, and it's fantastic.
Okay. No, we do want to do Twin Peaks.
After I finished the final episode, I was like, "What the fuck?" And then the next day, I was like, "Oh."
In
Which
Lynch we trust.
I think that is that better if I hate it and then the next day it clicks, like without watching it
Yeah,
again.
I think that's
Okay.
perfect.
Okay, especially for Lynch. Come on, um,
Yeah, there are movies
movie
I
did the
still
opposite.
hate
I
now
thought it was
that I
great
watched
when I
20
saw it in-
years ago.
25 years later, I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. I sort of like Requiem for a Dream, which is very similar in some ways.
Hey,
It's like there are some moments that I'm like, the moment to moment stuff is fine, but I just do not give a shit about this guy. And
Oh, no, see,
this guy should not be the center.
I think you're giving both of them too much credit. I think they're both just shit.
okay, I was going to ask you, Requiem for a Dream, better or worse than this one for you?
I prefer watching this to watching Requiem for a Dream because at least this had like moments of levity and the pacing of a film.
Yeah.
How about the movie
I agree.
whose name we
I-
don't utter anymore about spending some time in America?
I'm not
I-
watching
I-
that shit again.
That was too long and boring for me to ever watch it again. But I can admit to its qualities better than these two.
Okay.
I could co-sign that.
No, like there
No.
is a good film in there. It's just he needed a fucking editor.
Well, there is a 2-hour cut, but it's supposed to be incoherent. But we talked about
Yeah.
that in the past. So moving on.
And also, like I know for a fact he's made some fucking great films. Whereas, like, I'm
Right.
looking at this guy and he's like, oh, he makes the overrated Bond and then the terrible Bond.
It's funny, there is like a joke about James Bond in this movie, and I was sort of like, huh, why is he just putting that there to like to throw the little fishing line out?
But he's a British director. Bond is on the mind, you know?
Yeah.
The point where I was going to put Alan Ball under the bus, throw him under the bus, was the I'm assuming that Alan Ball never actually met teenage girls, judging by the
Um,
dialogue in this movie.
Well, it's probably he met British teenage girls as well, let alone met an American one.
The
Oh no, no, the
dialogue,
writer actually I think is American, right?
yeah, yeah, the girl talk was just all so stilted and bizarre.
Yeah,
I
well, not only is it a middle-aged man trying to write teenage girls, it's also a 20-year-old film. So,
yeah, and like the whole thing is, I feel like Mina Savari's character, even though I guess the film went out of its way to make her admit that she was boring or something, or
mm,
make the other guy say that. But it's like she could have been pretty interesting because there's the whole thing where she's talking about sucking dicks for the whole movie, and then it's like, it's my first time. Like there could be something there, but
mm.
it's like she only
Election.
exists.
There's your
She only
1999 equivalent. Election with
Okay. You know what? I didn't like it. That's unpopular opinion. I did not enjoy it, and I can't tell you why because I don't remember, but I did not enjoy it.
How about Dick? You like Dick?
I didn't see it.
Okay. I'll show it
I
to you
Is
love
this is
now.
Dick.
this part where you're gonna be like, I'll show you. Patreon.com/podcastio if you want my
Hashtag I'll show you Dick.
no, but I feel like she only really existed just as like plot development for Lester because she just disappears for a long time so that he could be like, "Oh, I haven't seen you in a while." And then it's like she could have
Most
been.
of the cast just exists to like fulfill some role in Lester's story. That's part of the problem with the writing. That's why when you're
Yeah.
saying you'd like this as an ensemble piece, I don't think I agree because I don't think anyone else had depth or character. They were just there as like to represent these things that he's going through.
Yeah, it's like the weird neighbor, the kid, what was his name? The
Yeah, he's
Joaquin Phoenix. He was like it was like a lot of his character,
Terry or something.
his whole arc was just to make you think that he might kill Kevin Spacey at the end,
Well, yeah,
which is who
same
gives a
with the
shit,
wife,
really?
right?
Yeah, I mean, the wife did have, she at least had like sort of an arc, even
Mm,
though like for let's be real,
She
like
learned shooting is fun.
um like she was obviously a kind of a terrible person, but like it's hard being married to somebody who doesn't have the same hustle level as you. Like
mm.
she should go and be happy with real estate fuck man, hotel fuck man.
Oh
Um
fuck man.
also
That's what
this
you'd be
is
named if Kojima was writing this.
yes, exactly. Neither here nor there, but like when I got in shape in my 30s, I did the first woman I dated was a lot more like Annette Bening than she was like Mina Savari in this. But she wasn't successful. She was just angry.
Mm.
I think I remember her.
I don't think you met her.
Name
This
start
was
with an L.
no, she wasn't here. You weren't here, Matt.
Oh,
This
okay.
was actually after I got in shape after the last time I saw you physically.
Oh, I guess you just date lots of angry people. Mark
Yeah.
likes angry.
Not anymore. No thanks.
Maybe Angry just likes Mark. But the
I just want to touch the flame. That's just it. You know.
Right.
the thing I was always thinking about watching this was Breaking Bad. Because at Breaking Bad, especially the early seasons, it's the whole, he comes out of his boring chemistry teacher job, he learns to be a criminal and a tough guy. He, talks back to his wife. But in that, it's presented as like, oh, he's a monster. And all of this stuff that he's doing is awful. And this is toxic masculinity and he needs to see a therapist instead of making meth. Whereas this film was like, oh, it's cool that Kevin Spacey is rude to his wife now.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely, the Breaking Bad definitely felt like a step forward in general, just for this kind of sort of natural. I don't know if I call this naturalistic, but it's like naturalistic light.
Mm.
It's like kind of realistic. Breaking Bad is also kind of realistic, but kind of not.
Yeah, it's often very not, but it's.
It just kind of stretches when it needs to, and the rest of the
Hmm.
time it kind of chills out. But yeah, would this movie be better if Kevin Spacey had like started selling drugs halfway through and then got shot in like a drug shootout? Like I think it kind of
That would be a
would.
plot and a film, so yeah. If you say, would this film be better? And then you say an event that happens, yes.
Hey, since we were
Well,
talking about David Fincher, have you seen the weird David Fincher breaking news?
What's this?
no.
David Fincher is directing a sequel to Once
Oh,
Upon a Time in Hollywood, direct for Netflix. What?
I did hear that, and I'm not sure I care. Maybe I do. I don't
I
know.
kind of do. I really like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Hollywood, excuse me, not America.
That's fine. I mean, Brad Pitt is also kind of a monster. Like as has come out recently. Like nobody cares as much because he just was like a shitty dad and a shitty husband
Mm.
more than like a sex
Well,
criminal.
well, here's the
So
thing. Me saying I didn't enjoy watching American Beauty this time. I did. I've seen The Usual Suspects in the past year. Multiple problem people there. Still love the movie.
yeah,
Yeah,
That
yeah,
one.
yeah.
it's
Like that's why I say well, you can't just be like, oh, he's bad, so it was bad. It was always bad. Because then the people who are like, no, it wasn't, are not going to come around. It has to be like, no, sure, maybe you liked Harry Potter when you were a kid. She's still an awful human being now.
so yeah, it's you can still it's not like Kevin Spacey gets all the money from whenever you watch it. It's not like there weren't a lot of other people who made this. I definitely don't like the writer, so like that's also a reason to not watch this. But I don't know.
Well, here's
It's I don't think I care about David Fincher directing a sequel to Once Upon a Time in America, so I shouldn't have brought bad Brad Pitt up. I can't talk. I shouldn't have brought Brad Pitt up. That's hard to say. Shouldn't have brought Brad Pitt up. You watch what you like. Don't give J.K. Rowling any money. Just pirate all the movies.
okay.
Hmm.
See, I can still enjoy Harry Potter, and I guess the cast and crew have gone out of their way by doing reunions that she's not invited to. To be like,
I
"Oh,
mean,
come on, please enjoy these movies we made."
But
I'm
now she's
pretty.
desperately trying to get this HBO remake made, which is gonna like Harry Potter fans are not going to accept it because it's not the cast they like, and other people are not going to watch it because she's involved. And I'm quietly hopeful that it's going to be a tremendous flop.
There's only
I'm kind
one
of like
artist. There's only one artist where they were where they it turned out they were a horrible sex pest, and I really can no longer interface with their work.
Hmm.
Like I
Woody
think
Allen.
I still like what Woody Allen movies. I guess because like there's so much cast and crew and there's other people there, blah blah blah. You can get around it, but I guess because this one is mostly this guy. And Luke, you won't know these bands. Mark, you probably don't like these bands, but I used to listen to Red House
Red
Painters
House
and
Painters.
Sun Kill Moon a lot. Yeah, and the singer writer for that band turned out to be a absolute monster, and you can't sit him and listen to him now like gently plucking a guitar while singing sad love songs. It's like no.
Well, the reason I brought up Woody Allen is just because like almost every Woody Allen movie has Woody Allen in it, and he writes himself dating someone younger. It's just
Yeah.
like so much of it. There's
And now
just
he's what,
so much
90?
of it.
I will say the last Woody
Crazy.
Allen movie I saw was the tennis one, and that's because it had Hugh Jackman
Yeah.
in it, I think. And that was a long time ago. I can might be working on flawed memory here.
Another confession, I've never really watched a Woody Allen movie that I liked all that much except for what's happening Tiger Lily.
I like the
Is that the
early
name of
funny
it?
ones, Manhattan. There's a couple more I like. I
I
remember
mean,
liking Deconstructing Harry back in the day.
I you like what you like. I don't want to be like I think it's pretty lame for me to be like, well, I never liked Harry Potter, so clearly I'm morally superior. It's like I that's kind of
But
bullshit.
again, I haven't put on a Woody Allen movie for some time, so there is a certain thing where it's just like I have many choices, so maybe I'm not going to choose that one, because
I
of
mean,
that.
I love Roman Polanski movies. That's why a couple of times in this podcast I've gone out of my way to say fuck Roman Polanski because I feel like it's my responsibility to not super co-sign things that I actually do like. So I don't know if that makes me look an insane person, but
So
uh,
this best picture winner, film or filth?
I think this is the closest to 50-50. Like it's kind of just flimmoth.
I'm gonna go full filth actually if we're doing it that way because some of the things that I used to think were good about the movie, like I think I did think the script was good back in the day, and now I'm like, man, this dialogue blows. The music I thought was cool back in the day, and now I'm like, I feel like I'm getting interrupted on YouTube with a commercial, you know? So things that used to be good about it are also worse. So that makes me have to go under 50-50 and just be, this is a filther.
I
Um,
don't fault anybody for feeling like that
Luke, you want
because
to
I'm
chime
not
in on this one?
I stopped paying attention. What?
Yeah, I know. Film or filth?
film or filth.
Oh, filth. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, not
okay.
even filth. Just. Ugh.
Yeah.
I think we have to look up a bit of
I
reviews on both sides for this one then. Mark, you want to look up goodies or baddies on the reviews?
I'll do good ones since
Okay.
that's
I'll
harder.
find some bads.
I'll read you
Oh,
some
this
YouTube
wait,
comments
wait,
from
wait,
the
wait. No.
trailer.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
No, Mark, no, Mark, you're looking up one more time? You're looking
I
up the
said I'll look
bads?
up good ones because it's
Oh,
harder.
okay. No, there's plenty of
We
good
don't
ones.
do
This
it
this
because it's easy. We do it because it's hard.
this is a best picture winner, you know.
Okay. But I mean, it'll be hard to find one that's fun.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll just read. This is good. Here we go. This film, 1 out of 10. This film marks the end of any hope for the human condition. I was deeply affected by this movie. I was paralyzed and felt an inability to feel anything at the end of this movie. Perhaps this was the producer's intention. Perhaps they just despise suburban life. In any case, their intention is not clear. The movie was so honest and sincere that it was frightening. This is not the world I want to live in. But the filmmakers beg the question: do we have choice? Da, 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 da. It seems they didn't like it, but they're really praising it. This is a weird review. Brutally cruel and honest films like Your Friends and Neighbors, Swimming with Sharks, Seven, The Ice Storm, Happiness, and In the Company of Men all need to be recategorized in the genre of horror in lieu of drama. American Beauty had obvious moments of comic relief, and were it not for that, I could not have survived the movie. I don't remember even laughing once during The Ice Storm or In the Company of Men. If it is true that there is indeed a human condition that American what? I okay. It seems like they're praising the movie and then it's not. This is such a weird review. And guess what? According to the filmmakers of American Beauty, we can do nothing about it. Moral nihilism doesn't seem to be a particularly comfortable way to live. Please convince me if I happen to be wrong. I guess they're just having an existential crisis and putting it on IMDb in October 25th, 1999. Okay.
Okay. I'm not saying that at you. I'm saying that at trying to find a good 10-star review.
That's what I assumed.
um crap. Keep talking.
Is crap a review?
I'm just going to go back. I'm just
Yeah,
going to
that's
go
my
back.
review.
I'm going to go back to the one that was adequate. No, it's
Yuck.
not.
What
This is not
overblown hype.
adequate.
Crummy, boring movie. Just a yawn. No redeeming qualities. How this received such accolades is beyond me. Acting was okay, but certainly not brilliant. The entire movie moved with the speed of a sleepy slug. Obviously, I didn't care for it at all.
What a
One of
movie! A masterpiece. Years ago, I remember sitting crying in the movie theater after watching this very different movie. One of the best movie ever.
Ooh.
This
Oh,
is this movie is for anyone who is not happy with how their life has turned out. Okay, here's one. Here from Family Guy.
Yay.
Love this movie. I'm a watch it. It's been years.
I'm going to do an unorthodox thing and sort by most helpful and go to the very bottom.
To me, it tell an underlying fact. Everything looks beautiful isn't really on the inside.
Ooh, that get a tattoo of that, man. On your forehead.
So, people, how is this movie? Should I watch this? Okay, they need to make a sequel to this movie.
Yes! Yes! American Beauty 2, starring Kevin
American
Spacey.
Funeral.
I
Oh my
think I think
God.
this comment from Andy9589 should end this. Kevin Spacey, once known as a great actor, is now known as a child predator. He has caused so much pain to our most vulnerable. 4 likes.
Okay. Luke cashing out there. I'm finished reading ones. Mark, did you did your unorthodox search
Ma-
yield something?
Made my brain to feel blue. This film looks very realistic. This is maybe what I like most in of all in it. I am 20 years younger than Lester, but watching this movie I thought, yes, it could be a next door drama of a middle-aged neighbor, and it could happen to me too, later. So dialogues are good, actors play is good, all characters are shown convincing and displayed in quite enough details. I'd strongly advise to watch this film. You will have a lot of things to discuss after with your friends or relatives, and I'm sure you will get pleasure of this discussion too, as well as of watching American Beauty. Zero people found this helpful.
Ooh,
Now
he
I'm
did
probably
write
making fun of
review.
people who use Google Translate to write those.
Wait. I have one more YouTube comment I have to read out just because of you'll get it. Mr. Spielberg, since you're adapting musicals, I got a musical you can adapt. It's the story of a disabled pinball player who becomes a cult figure. Yes, I am suggesting a new adaptation of Tommy based on the rock opera by The Who. P.S. Can we also get a remake of An American Tale just to complete with Disney?
This is on the American Beauty
The
Yay!
trailer
American Beauty
comments.
trailer on you.
Okay,
I'm sure
okay,
Mr. Spielberg is reading.
okay. I think I got one.
Every movie is directed by Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, he's the movies guy.
Yeah, of course. This is from 2000. Ode to Humanity. Weakness. This is a movie about human weakness, that thing that give us our humanity. Carolyn, Mr. Fitz, and Angela are those who don't want to admit their weakness. Carolyn needs to have an inner double who can be angry with her as she feels weak. The kiss given by Mr. Fitz to Lester is a clue of the weakness of a man who loved Nazis' theories for their strength and hated homosexuals, the weakest people in the world. Angela invents a lot of sexy stories to erase that virginity never lost. Lester was a, quote, false strong, but he tried to be real and weak, and to let discover to the others their humanity, made of weakness too. But no one wants to be considered weak, and this is the cause of his death. I think that this movie is like a cane, which remains on the heart and makes us reflect about what we are. Zero people found that helpful.
Yeah, that was some fucking manosphere shit.
Yeah. Well, it got the right number of likes. That's not
Um,
even anywhere near the bottom.
wow. I guess we'll wrap it up for today then, unless anyone wants to keep talking about Kevin Spacey.
No, I want to go to the gym.
Three of his accusers died in 2019. That's all.
Let him be
And
frank.
Jeffrey Epstein did
Uh,
not kill himself.
Kevin Spacey
Also, I believe Guy Pearce.
did. What about Guy Pearce?
I believe him.
Oh,
He said
okay.
He said Kevin Spacey was, targeting him during the making of LA Confidential, and then Kevin Spacey released a video that was like a whole bunch of anger directed at Guy Pearce, and he told him to grow up and he's not a victim,
Hey,
and et cetera,
Guy.
et cetera.
Yeah.
You
Is
know,
it
you
called
know,
Hey,
like
Guy?
an enraged, aggressive bully would do, recording a video telling.
Yeah. Well, if you want to hear us not talk about Kevin Spacey, head over to Podcastio. Well, usually not. Podcastius.org, where we do lots of podcasting. Of course, this is Films and Filth. Leave us a groovy review. Time Enough Podcast does The Twilight Zone. Podcast 1999 is currently doing Planet of the Apes TV shows. And for video gamers, there's Luke Loves Pokemon, Monster Mash, Game Show. And I just called gamers video gamers. I don't know if that's good or bad.
I don't think that's really a term, but if you said hello video gamers, they would know who you were talking to.
Hello, video gamers. Like that?
Yeah. Hi, game players.
Hello, players of game. Okay.
Well, if you'd like to, I just started the plugs again. I'm like programmed to do it now.
Mm. See, there's another movie that I would just end. I should just end the podcast with like a gunshot sound, but I'm not going to because I think I did that like 3 weeks ago.
Oh no, Luke is standing behind me. Bang. that's that's not funny. How could Luke get here so quickly? Is that going to be the end now?
Yeah, I was waiting for you to stop talking.
That doesn't make any sense. All right, whatever.
You can do non sequiturs. It's fine. Okay, I will hit the
Yeah, clearly.
record. Buys to people listening.